All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We're back. Week 18 edition here, 18 weeks, all season long, breaking it down. Some shows were solo in there. Obviously, we got lives outside of DFS as well. I know it's crazy for some of you guys out there to think that. But, yeah, it's been a fun 18 weeks here, Ham. And we might have the best for last here. They always say save the best for last here. Man, battle of two of the best teams in football here in the best division in football here, NFC North, and it's a battle for that title, and it's a big one because guess what? Winner, you get the 1 seed. Lose, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're 14-3. You drop all the way down to the 5 seed here in the NFC with the amazing NFL playoff rules you got. You got teams like 9 and 7 that are getting 1 seeds out there due to their division titles, right? Hey, simple fix, right? Division winners are automatically guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, but then guess what? Then it comes down to record. It comes down to win-loss percentage and the head-to-head tiebreakers, right? Throw the automatic 1 through 4 seeds out to the 4 division winners. I think that's horrendous, but hey, I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I saw a bunch of buzz on Twitter and around the industry out there that are saying, hey, guaranteed the 4 winners of the division on each side, a guaranteed spot in the playoffs, and then go by record right after that. Don't give them the 1 through 4 seed kind of thing. But what's your take on that? Happy Sunday, man. Bring you in right away. What's going on, brother? Week 18, we're here.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that we're here, but yeah, we are. We did save the best for last. Best total of the season, if I'm not mistaken. FanDuel does include this game as they have all year. Then we got a $300K up top in Showdown. But yeah, I'm with you, man. 14-3, and I'm going on the road. Not going to be happy about that to take on like the 9-7 or 9-8, Bucks or Falcons or whatever, somebody like that. But they got to change it. But that's not for us to decide. We got a good one to discuss. 1 really bad defense, 2 really good offenses. So yeah, looking forward to breaking this one all down and hopefully getting us a shipper to start the new year.
Yeah, hopefully getting a shipper to start the new year here. And, yeah, Week 18, 57 total, as you alluded to. I believe the biggest all season long here. Definitely, I can see this game kind of playing under. I mean, 57 is a massive total. I get it. The first game between these two scored 60 points, and that was kind of a crapshoot. And now you can say the Lions' defense is even worse than back then. I've thought the Vikings defense kind of been a little overrated all season long, but they've definitely been a great team all year. Should be an interesting one because from the captain position, Ham, jumping in and taking a look at it, Jahmyr Gibbs, massive chalk from the captain and the most expensive guy up on top. And the one thing Vikings are actually pretty good against is opposing running backs. I get it. Gibbs is super explosive in that, right? And everyone's, he went for 100-plus yards, 2 touchdowns against these Vikings in their first test. That automatically has to happen this time, right? And if you think playoffs, right, both these teams are in the playoffs. It's just a matter of seeding. Who's the most important guy to the Detroit Lions offense? I think it's Jahmyr Gibbs. So if there was something to happen, obviously they're playing to win this game, right? No doubt. They want the 1 seed. They don't want to drop to the 5 seed and have to play the whole playoffs for the most part on the road, right? They want to play at home. Gibbs all the way up at the top. Vikings are pretty good, an A ranking on the stone over here for rush defense there. Take us into the captain position. You got Gibbs all the way up at the top. He's going to be the most expensive. I think we're pretty aligned in terms of what our anticipation is with Gibbs in general. Then you got Jay Jetta, $300 cheaper, 17-1 at the captain position. And then you got Sun God, Mr. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 15-9. Pretty big discount there off those top 2 guys. And then you got the quarterbacks, and then you got J-Mo, right? The captain we just saw last week, last primetime game with these Lions in the game that, quote-unquote, didn't mean anything, right? Dan Campbell, obviously, super try-hard out there, doesn't care about any of that, right? Comes out, plays his dudes, and just goes up and throws up a big number on the 49ers there. What are you doing for the captain position? Because it is definitely a focus point of the slate, and mainly Jahmyr Gibbs, especially up on top. So I'll throw it over to you. What are you looking at the captain position? How are you going to get off the Gibbs? How are you going to leverage it? What are you looking to do differently?
Yeah, I'm aligned with you. I mean, Gibbs obviously a great play, but I'm going to be lower than the field on Gibbs. You said it. This Vikings rush defense, one of the better ones in the NFL. I don't remember exactly, but that first time they played, he was like sub 5%. Now he's going to be, it is showdown, but he's going to be north of, I would say 40, maybe 50%. I'm gonna not full fade Gibbs, right, but definitely lower than the field. I want these pass catchers. I mean, we've seen this Lions defense just get shredded. Their injuries, they're injury riddled. Give me some Sam Darnold. Give me Justin Jefferson. Those are my two favorite captains for the Vikings. TJ Hawkinson would be my third. I have him slightly ranked ahead of Jordan Addison. And then on the other side, give me Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think they're going to have to pepper Amon-Ra. These are the types of games where Amon-Ra, gets 15 targets, in my opinion. Similar to that Buffalo matchup that they had a couple weeks ago in Detroit, where it was a back and forth affair. 18 targets in that game. 8 targets for 112 the first time he faced his two teams. How do you beat Brian Flores and his blitz-happy defense? You get the ball out of Jared Goff's hands quickly. You get it to Amon-Ra St. Brown and let him do work over the middle. He would be my favorite Lion. So that would be, I would say those would be my top 4. If I was to rank them, it would be Jefferson, Darnold, Hawkinson, St. Brown would be where I'm starting with my captain.
Yeah, I like that. I differ a little bit, but I'm with you on the Gibbs. I'm just going to take my chances. I've kind of played it all season long in Showdown. I've actually had a really good Showdown season in general, much better than kind of the full slate, main slate stuff. Seems like more of the same for you. A lot of success in the Showdown streets here, which has been nice. And I've just been taking an underweight approach on these most expensive captains and these most popular captains. Just all season long. I mean, it's different when if these captains were kind of 11K, right, 12K, but he's all the way up as the most expensive guy in the slate and pushing the massive ownership in quote unquote the worst matchup, if you will, right, of the skill position guys. So I'm with you there. I'm under on Gibbs. I'm probably going to have some flex, but I'll be probably under half the field in terms of the flex. I'll get some. I just never really full fade anyone, especially like a Gibbs, right, that has the home run play potential there. But yeah, I'm with you. My favorite captain on the entire slate is going to be actually on the same team. It's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown has destroyed Minnesota every single time he's played them, even dating back to last year. He's averaging nearly 30 DraftKings points in 3 contests. Now, that's not to say, right, it's automatic he's going to go out there and get 30, but it's a great spot to target. The Lions want to win the game. They also don't want to give Gibbs 100% of the touches. We saw it last week. Obviously, that game didn't mean a lot, but the Lions still played it like it meant a ton. Gibbs saw 52% of the snaps, which has been basically kind of the story, right? 50-50 split, if you will, all season long. They still have Craig Reynolds in there. He is questionable with the back injury. We'll get to that. And then they got the other cat in there as well from a running back standpoint. Jamar Jefferson, that is going to get carries as well. So I like Amon-Ra a ton. I like Jared Goff more than Sam Darnold, and the reason being is because it's more leverage directly on the same exact team off of Jahmyr Gibbs. If Jahmyr Gibbs isn't going out there and getting a crazy game, he can also do it with Goff, which I like, which we saw last week. I think Goff can light it up, go. He can easily throw for 300 yards, 2+ touchdowns. I mean, doesn't take much when you got J-Mo on the side, right? Going to burn. I mean, you can pick up 80 yards in one pass, right? So I like Jared Goff in the captain. I like Amon-Ra. And then I like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And then probably the tight ends after that. So that's kind of where I'm going from the captain position. I do slightly prefer Jordan Addison over Justin Jefferson. Sorry, not Jamar. Justin Jefferson. I like Jordan Addison. So it's wide receiver heavy for me. I think J-Mo is an interesting play as well. I do think he picks up more steam, especially as everybody just watched the Lions in primetime last week, right? And J-Mo went crazy. Kind of a little fluky, right? I mean, he took that he took that little end around or whatnot to the house, and then he actually almost had his third touchdown too. But I mean, who knows? They have so many skill position guys, right? The Laporta has been coming on as of late too. I'm going to take my chances with the true alpha in the offense there in Amon-Ra. So seems like we're fully aligned there. I just prefer Goff over Sam Darnold in terms of the quarterback position, just because I think it's more leveraged play and it's better to leverage off of kind of the Jahmyr Gibbs stuff. So that's the reason for that. And then, the wide receivers and Hockenson, I think, on the Vikings side, not getting to any Aaron Jones, not getting to any Sam Darnold up there personally myself, but I definitely get the reasoning for that. Let's jump over and talk flex plays here, Ham. And we have to keep an eye on Craig Reynolds because he did get 34% of the snaps last week, got a ton of work when he was in there, right? Pass catching, he was getting carries. Jamar Jefferson looked pretty good as well. So I think he's also a pretty solid play in general from the flex. But let's start with the quarterbacks in the flex in general. You were higher on Darnold. I was higher on Goff. I prefer Darnold more in the flex. I just think at the captain position, I just liked Goff more personally. But I like them both a lot. High total, massive total. How do you get both these quarterbacks in the flex? Well, you kind of play an Addison captain, or you play a Jameson Williams captain, or those tight ends, right? Laporta, Hockenson is kind of how you go with more of a mid-tier captain to allow you more studs in the flex here, because I have to assume you want both these quarterbacks as much as possible here in a game environment like this.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Let's talk. JMO, really like JMO at 7,600 in the flex. You saw he obviously can do it with his legs, and we're not banking on him to take those, laterals, 40 yards or whatever to the house. But receiving wise, he can take the top off it up. Absolutely. So 7,600. Don't mind him down there in the flex. I'm all over some Hockenson tonight. $5,400 in the flex. I talked about him in the captain. He'll be a centerpiece for me. I really like Hawk at 5,400 in the flex, especially with the amount of volume, the amount of passing that I think this Vikings team is going to do. And I guess we can get right into it. I think Aaron Jones is dust. He's banged up. We saw last week against the Packers. He didn't really play the second half. He had a rib or oblique or something. And I'm just not going to trust Cam Akers, I don't think. And I think they're going to trust Sam Darnold to pass against this defense that doesn't have a secondary. Their secondary's beat up. They don't have a line. I think they're going to let Sam Darnold go back there and just heave the ball around, Josh Allen style. So I really like Hockenson. Don't like Aaron Jones. Like Darnold. That's why I like Darnold more than I do Goff. Another name that I want to mention last week, I think he was 5 for 5 for 80 something yards. And I know at least one touchdown. Jalen Naylor, a guy that nobody's going to play, kind of the third wide receiver, if you will. Don't hate Jalen Naylor. Don't hate Tim Patrick as the third receiver, coming off 0 targets last week in San Fran. No one's going to want to click that name. Those are some of the we got a lot of big boys, Nates, that we're going to want to play tonight. So those are some of the guys that you're going to have to get to. I don't mind playing wide receiver 3 in this game to get a little bit different and to jam in those studs at the top.
Yeah, I was with you. I was going to bring that up as well, but I'll kind of run through it as general. As kind of grand scheme overview, I'm under on the starting running backs on both sides here in this game and over on the pass catchers. I'm over on the passing games. You mentioned it last week, right, in terms of snaps. Aaron Jones, 51% of snaps last week. Jahmyr Gibbs, 52% of snaps last week. And it's not like Cam Akers and Ham and those guys jumped way up in terms of snaps. Obviously, Ham's kind of that fullback guy, and he's in there more for blocking and stuff. He might slip out and catch like a slip screen or something like that once in a while. Ty Chandler's more of the passing down guy there. But I like Craig Reynolds. I like Jamar Jefferson. If they're both in there on the Detroit side, just because naturally I'm underweight on Jahmyr Gibbs overall. So naturally I just have some hedge built in, right? Craig Reynolds, Jamar Jefferson. I like setting a rule here tonight to max 1 running back per team at most, right? At most 1 running back from the same team on your builds. I've done that pretty much all season long. Hasn't really hurt me too much. So I like that there. I'm with you on the tight ends. if you look at Laporta's gotten double digits since week 13, Ham. Must-win game here. We both think we don't like the spot as much for Gibbs. We like the passing game more. He's heavily involved. I mean, you go back to week 13, 6 targets, 7 targets in week 14, 10 targets, 7 targets, 8 targets. I mean, minimum of 7 targets in the last, 6 weeks. I think Laporta is a really good play at 4,700, and I think Hawkinson's a really good play at 4,400. I like both of those guys a ton here. So I'm definitely team tight end here tonight. Again, just fits or not. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong price point. 5,800, 5,400 there in the flex. I like both those guys a ton. Jalen Naylor's interesting as well. When you mentioned what he did, if you look at where this Detroit team has been getting beat up, I mean, who went nuclear last game, right? Ricky Pearsall, right? He's wide receiver 3. Wide receivers 2s and 3s, just looking at the numbers all season, have kind of gashed this Detroit team, especially as of late. And wide receiver 1's kind of been held in check. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, we both like him too. But at the price points of Addison, at the price points of Jalen Naylor, in a script where we like the passing game and a lot of points, they definitely fit that build there. So I like them guys. I think Tim Patrick's a decent play too. Mega Chalk last week busted with a fat 0 there. Back-to-back zeros there isn't a good sight there for big Tim Patrick, right? Hoops boy over there, Tim Patrick. But you want to talk about flop leg Ham? Everybody, right? I think he was 40% owned almost. I think in that last showdown slate, he was hitting every optimal team. Now I don't think it's the case, right? I just don't think. I think much more, way more people are going to go to those running backs, right? Those secondary running backs, Jamar Jefferson's of the world and Craig Reynolds of the world than Tim Patrick at 3,600. People are much more likely to click Craig Reynolds if he's in there at 3K. And if he's out, much more people are just going to click in the Jamar Jefferson of the world for the running back. So I don't mind some Tim Patrick going back. Kind of fits the script. Again, I'm playing pass heavy approach here. So I like all the tight ends, or both the tight ends here. I'm probably not getting to know Brock Wright, no Johnny Munt, or none of that stuff. I just really have kind of avoided these ancillary pieces in Showdown. I don't really 150 max. I know you don't really 150 max, but I do 20 max and kind of 3 main teams as well every Showdown slate. And I've just avoided kind of all these dusty, right, secondary ancillary pieces, right, the backup tight ends and the backup tight ends. If they catch it, sure. But how many times have we seen, especially in a massive total, like a 57-point total, that one catch for 6 yards and a touchdown just still isn't enough. You know what I mean? So seems like we're pretty aligned there. Throw it over to you in terms of kickers and defenses here. Again, huge total here. Lions defense, massive, super depleted here. Vikings defense has actually been pretty good all season long, and especially in terms of fantasy point scoring. They're 3,800. Lions are 4K. I have really no interest in the Lions in general at $4K, $4,000. I just don't think they have the playmakers anymore with all the injuries. So I'm probably going to X out the Lions defense myself. And then you got Jake Bates at 5K. And Will Reichert at 4,800. 2 really good kickers here, but Lions are probably one of the riskiest offenses in all of NFL, right? So that definitely hurts the kickers. I know I was tilted. Some people were tilted last week, right, in that meaningless game that they weren't just settling and rolling baits out there and kicking field goals. He obviously did get there still late because they poured it on, and then they kind of just settled for field goals, and he banged a couple 50-yarders in. But what's your take there on the kickers and defenses here tonight at their respective price points?
Yeah, this is going to be a stand for me. And you kind of said everything that I was going to say. Is I mean, Bates can bang him in from 50, but I mean, realistically, is Dan Campbell going to go for it? I think so. So at 5K, I'll be lower than the field on Bates. Will Reichert has been good most of the season, been struggling. Lions defense is an absolute mess. And one of my favorite, kind of differentiators, Nates, is going to be this Vikings defense, 3,800. That's fine if they give up 31 points. If they get 5 sacks, get a touchdown, a couple interceptions, they're going to be there in the winter with it, with 15 some odd points. So I don't hate this Vikings team. Jared Goff, not the most mobile quarterback. So he's going to be standing back there. Can he take sacks? Can he get hit from the blind side? I think so. I don't hate this Vikings team, but I won't have any Lions then I'll be lower on the field than these two kickers. I even think you can play a Vikings defense, with several pieces of this Lions offense, including the quarterback. We saw it in the Super Bowl a couple years ago with the Eagles and Chiefs, right? The Eagles scooped and scored one. I think it was the Eagles. It was the Chiefs scooped and scored one on a Jalen Hurts fumble. The Eagles still put up, I think, 28, 30 points, and we're still in the optimal. So give me this Vikings defense. No one's going to want to play them, but they have a ton of upside with the way they blitz and how immobile Goff is.
Yeah, from the D special teams position, I'm Team Vikings. I like Reichard a ton, and I like the Vikings defense here. And I just think Reichard and the Vikings offense just settles for field goals much more often than what the Lions do. You can click the game logs, 15, 12, and 11 the last 3 weeks since Reichard's come back from IR. I think the reason he fell off kind of right after week 7, right? Week 8 and 9 were pretty brutal, and then he went on the IR. Maybe there was some sort of issue going on right there with that injury, right? That put him out. He's come back and he's looked really good, right? So I like him a lot at his price point, and I like the Vikings defense. I'm full fade in the Lions defense, and I'll probably be right around the field, if not slightly under on Bates. I just never fade the kickers because, man, end of the half, they trot him out there, 50-yarder. That's right there, 5 points instantly. Drive gets stalled out. They kick another 40-yard. You're looking at 9 points instantly, right? And in the respective range, you got to look at other guys in that range. I mean, we like both the tight ends a lot, which could be definitely trouble for the kickers. So that's probably why I prefer Reichard just more at the salary savings at 4,800 plus with Dan Campbell, the way he's super aggressive, especially in a must-win game there. So definitely like the tight ends way more than Bates, but I do have quite a bit of interest in Will Reichard. And then the only defense I want to play here tonight would be the Vikings. Not going crazy, probably match the field, maybe be slightly over on them, maybe double the field, just because I just don't think it's going to take much to get over the field on them. I don't see a lot of people playing defenses in a 57-point total on a showdown slate, right? Yeah. That's kickers and defenses there. Hit on some of these values, Ham, before we get out of here. I mean, Cam Akers, 3,400. He's got to do something at that price point. Craig Reynolds, I think if he's in, I know he's questionable with a back injury there, so we definitely have to wait for inactives and wait for news. I don't know if you've seen any updates on that. I just saw he was still questionable with a back when I looked there. If he's in 3K, I still like him quite a bit, especially because we already talked about it, right? We're kind of under on Gibbs, and Reynolds looked pretty good last week. He was involved, right? He can catch passes. He was getting carries, and actually looking pretty good with the carries in general. Then you got Ty Chandler, you got Brock Wright, Oliver, Allen Robinson, who's dust, Johnny Munt, who's dust. You got Sion Vaki down there as well. Man, it's pretty gross in terms of value. So maybe that rounds us back to the Addisons, the Laportas, the Hawkinsons, the Jameson Williams of the world, right? Captains, kind of those mid tiers to avoid this range, but still get those defenses or the kickers and up kind of in the flex. But anything stand out from a value standpoint?
Yeah, we said it all season. This value's tough. I mean, Craig Reynolds, I don't have a whole ton of interest in him. I would take Cam Akers over him. If I was building to where I thought that Aaron Jones was still a little beat up, wouldn't hate Akers, Tim Patrick, Vikings defense. Those would kind of be the three in that range that I would be going to. But, man, it is tough down there. And, I mean, after Craig Reynolds, I mean, there's literally – I'm just scrolling right now. I mean, Josh Oliver, I don't think we want to click that name. Just go bet his touchdown prop. I just don't see anybody –
Johnny Munt would be probably the only guy I would keep in the pool, to be honest. Johnny Munt, just because he is in there a decent amount. We've seen it, right? He was the guy without Hawkinson. Oliver had 54% of snaps last week, but again, majority of those are blocking. I think Johnny Munt comes in there much more limited snaps than what Oliver plays, but I think he's the better tight end. I think he's more the guy in the red zone, and he'll get looks. I mean, he got a target last week, but man, I kind of want to avoid this range in general.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right. Well, that does it. I think we broke it down pretty good. The Stone, all the content will be live up on the website. If you guys aren't a SHIPIT Nation subscriber, there's no better place in the industry. I know PGA just teed off this week, first tournament here of the century. I know our guy Scarface has a mega sweat going on right now on DraftKings. So best of luck to Scarface out there. Hopefully that comes through for you there, Jerry, and you get home in the first weekend there. But no better place to find your home for PGA season, but not only just PGA, all of the other sports. We offer the 8 main sports as well as a Shiptimizer in-house. You can get everything on our website, including an optimizer for under $100 a month. Discord included, all the shows, everything for under $100 a month. I know places out there just for PGA alone are charging more than that. So PGA 100 does get you $100 off the annual package for our PGA product, and then get you free access to all of our NFL product all the way through the playoffs and the Super Bowl there. So no better rate than right there, SHIPIT Nation in the industry. Ham, any closing remarks before we get out of here?
Yeah, nothing else to add. Appreciate, the season. Enjoyed it doing it again. It's our second year to do this. Tough to believe that 18 weeks have come and gone, but here we are.
Yeah, 18 weeks have come and gone. We appreciate all you out there that have watched these shows all season long, interacted on our channel here. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, helps us out a ton. We're on the quest for 10,000 subscribers. I believe we're giving away a $700 package to our website, full access to everything over here at SHIPIT Nation for free when we do hit 10,000 subscribers to a subscriber out there. So hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below the video, your favorite takes, your favorite part of the season, and what your playoff outlook looks like. Who do you think's gonna do it? Who do you think your Super Bowl matchup? We like to see that interaction down there, but just thanks to everyone out there that have supported us all season long. Without you guys, this isn't possible. Obviously, we come on here to hopefully provide some insights and advice, provide a few laughs along the way. Obviously, take the punches from the chat back at us, right? For my counters and everything else out there. It's always fun along the year, but appreciate everyone tuning in. Happy New Year to everyone out there. Let's finish the season strong here and roll into the playoffs with a nice little shipper. What do you say, Ham? But for Ham, I'm Nades. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. Until next season, let's ship it.